व्रज जनरञ्जन
यशोधनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन
यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन
यमुनतीरावनचारी
यमुनतीरावनचारी
जय राधमाधव जय कुञ्जविहारी
जय राधमाधव जय कुञ्जविहारी
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव
नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
हरिनाम संकीर्तन की
जय
जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की
जय
जय। गुरु महाराज की
जय
जय। वीरेंद्रराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की
जय
जय। शिवगुण कृष्णदास प्रभु जी की जय।
जय
All glories to assembled devotees. Hare
हरे
Krishna.
कृष्ण
Thank you all once again, all devotees, for joining our Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, daily Srimad Bhagavatam reading morning session in English. Hare Krishna. So, as usual, Shivana Prabhuji is present to take a class for us. So, we are lucky, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Welcome once again.
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu. Thank you for giving this opportunity. I think, Prabhu, we are starting today new chapter, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Today, we will be starting with the chapter number 20, new chapter. So, the chapter name is Studying the Structure of the Universe. Chapter 20, Studying the Structure of the Universe. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदिरे नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भागवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीगुरुं दीनदारिणं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम् ओमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददान्ति सुपदान्तिकं Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Udapatakamelam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagarjatam Sagana Rikhunadanidam Damsadipam Sadvaidam Savadutam Parichanasakidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Vadan Sakana Sri Vishakhanidamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagalpade Gopesha Gopiga Ganda Radha Ganda Namastude Taptakanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanasude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchagalpatarupyacha Kripa Sindhupyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhudale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswate Deva Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Deshadarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Welcome once more all devotees for our Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Hare Krishna. So, chapter 20, studying the structure of the universe. Okay, I will start with the introduction. Chapter 20. Prabhuji, I will start. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, please start.
Okay.
Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Prabhu.
In this chapter, there is a description of various islands beginning with the Lakshadweepa and the oceans that surrounded them. There is also a description of the location and the dimensions of the mountain known as Loka Loka. The islands of Lakshadweepa is twice as broad as Jambudvipa, which is surrounded by an ocean of salt water. The master of this island is uh,
Idma
Hitmajiva.
Jiva.
Hitmajiva, one of the sons of Maharaja Priyaprada. The island is divided into 7 regions, each with a mountain and a large river. The second island is called Shalmali Deep. It is surrounded by an ocean of liquor and is 3,200,000 miles wide, twice as wide as Lakshadweepa. The master of this island is Yajnabahu, one of the sons of Maharaja Priyaprada. Like Lakshadweepa, this island is also divided into 7 regions, each with a mountain and a very large river. The inhabitants of this island worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Chandratma. The third island, which is surrounded by an ocean of clarified butter and is also divided into 7 regions, is called Kushadvipa. Its master is Hiranyareta, another son of Maharaja Priyaprada, and its inhabitants worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Agni, the fire god. The width of this island is 6,400,000 miles, or in other words, twice of width of Shalmali. The fourth island, Kraunchadweepa, which is surrounded by an ocean of milk, is 12,800,000 miles wide and is also divided like the others into 7 regions, each with a large mountain and a large river. The master of this island is Grishtaprashta, another son of Maharaja Priyaprada. The inhabitants of this island worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of water. The fifth island, Shagadvipa, which is twice as wide as the previous island, is surrounded by the ocean of clear water. Its master is Vidhihotra, another son of Maharaja Priyavrata. The island is divided into two by a large mountain named Manasotara. The inhabitants of this island worship Swayambhu, another feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Beyond Pushkara Deepa, there are two islands, one always lit by the sunshine and the other always dark. Between them is a mountain called Loga, which is situated 1 billion miles from the edge of the universe. Lord Narayana, expanding his opulence, resides upon this mountain. The area beyond Loga mountain is called Alokavarsha. And beyond Alokavarsha is the pure destination of persons who desire liberation. Vertically, the sun globe is situated just in the middle of the universe in Antariksha, the space between Bhurloka and Bhurloka. The distance between the sun and the circumference of Andhagolaga, the globe of the universe, is estimated to be 25 Kodi Yojanas, 2 billion miles. Because the sun enters the universe and divides the sky, it is known as Martadanda. And because it is produced from Hiranyagarbha, the body of the Mahatattva, it is also called Hiranyagarbha. Okay, Hare Krishna, that is the description, and we will go to verse number 1, 5.20.1. Sri Shugavaja Adha Param Plakshadinam Pramana Lakshana Samstanado Varsha Vibhaga Upavarnade. Sri Shugavaja Adha Param Plakshadinam Pramana Lakshana Samstanado Varsha Vibhaga Upavarnyade. Translation by His Divine Grace Abhijanarinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. The great sage Shukadeva Goswami said, "Hereafter I shall describe the dimensions, characteristics, and forms of the 6 islands, beginning with the islands of Plaksha." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, we will go to the next one.
Yeah. Okay, we'll read the next one also, because there is no, that also only translation. Okay, I will read Hare Krishna. Verse number 5.20.2. Jambudvipoyam yavat pramana vistarastarāvada Sharodadhina Pariveshtido Yatha Jambadhyena Levanodadhidadvi Tado Diguna Vishalena Plakshakyena Parichipto Yadha Parikha Bahyopavanena Plaksho Jambu Pramano Divakhyagaro Hiranmaya Uddhido Yatragni Ruvaste Sapta Jighvastatsya Dhipadihi Priyavradatmaja Itmajjihva swam deepam vastavarshani vibhajya saptavarshanaamabhya atmajebhya agalaya स्वयमात्मयोगनो योगनो वररामा. Once more. Okay. Jambudvipo ayam yavat pramana vistarastāvada charodadhina pariveshtito yadha merurjam jambvākhyena लवणोदधिरपि ततो द्विगुणविशालेन प्लक्षाख्येन परिक्षिप्तो तथा परिघां बाह्योपवेनेन प्लक्षो जम्बुप्रमाणो दीवाख्यकरो हिरण्मय उद्धितो यत्राग्निरूपास्ते सप्तजिह्वस्तस्याधिपतिः प्रियव्रतात्मज इद्मज्जिह्वाः स्वं दीपं सप्तवर्षाणि विभज्य सप्तवर्षनामभ्य आत्मजेभ्य आगलय्य स्वयमात्मयोगेनो पररामा. Hare Krishna. Translation by His Divine Grace Abhijana Aravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. As Sumeru mountain is surrounded by Jambudvipa, Jambudvipa is also surrounded by an ocean of salt water. The breadth of Jambudvipa is 100,000 yojanas, that is 800,000 miles. And the breadth of the saltwater ocean is the same. As a moat around the fort is sometimes surrounded by garden-like forest, the saltwater ocean surrounding Jambudvipa is itself surrounded by Plakshadvipa. The breadth of Plakshadvipa is twice that of the saltwater ocean. In other words, 200,000 yojanas, that is 1,600,000 miles. On Plakshadvipa, there is a tree shining like gold and as tall as the Jambu tree on Jambudvipa. At its root is a fire with 7 flames. It is because this tree is a Plaksha tree that the island is called Plakshadvipa. Plakshadvipa was governed by Itmajidva, one of the sons of Maharaja Priyavrata. He endowed the 7 islands with the names of his 7 sons, divided the islands among the sons, and then retired from active life to engage in the devotional service of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Next.
So, this is explaining about the.
We'll go to the next one, Prabhu, or how? Third one?
Okay. So
That's probably online.
3 and
3.
4.
Hmm.
There we are having purport also. Okay.
If you want, somebody else can read if they want. Yes, Prabhuji.
Somebody want to continue? Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, Mataji. Verse number 3 and 4, 2 verses together.
Shivam yavasam subhadram shantam abhayamidhi varshani teshu girayo na discha saptevabhiඥāta Shivam yavasam subhadram shantam shemam abhayamiti varshani teshu girayo nadyascha saptaivabhignata Manigudo Vajrakuda Indrasena Jyotishman Suparno Hiranyashtivo Meghamala Iti Sedu Shaila Aruna Namnagirasi Savitri Suprabhata Ridambhara Satyambhara Idi Mahanadya Yasam Jalosparshana Vidhutarajastamaso Hamsapadam Gordhvayana Satyanga Samsnyachaya Chatvaro Tatvaro Varna Sahasrayusho Vibhutopama Sandarshana Prajanana Surgadaram Traya Vidyaya Bhagavandam Tatrimayam Suryamatmanam Yajante Manikudo Vajrakuda Indraseno Jyotishman Subarno Hiranyashtivo Meghamala Iti Sedu Shaila Arunonyamnagirasi Savitri Suprabhada Ridambhara Satyambhara Idi Mahanadya Yasam Jalosparshana Vidhutarajastamaso Hamsa Padangor Satyanga Samjnachatvaro Varna Sahasrayusho Vibhutopama Sandarshana Prajanana Surgadwaram Traya Vidyaya Bhagavandam Trayimayam Suryamatmanam Yajante. Translation. The 7 islands, Varshas, are named according to the names of those 7 sons, Shiva, Yavasa, Subhadra, Shanta, Kshema, Amrita, and Abhaya. In those 7 tracts of land, there are 7 mountains and 7 rivers. The mountains are named Manikuda, Vajrakuda, Indrasena, Jyotisman, Suparna, Hiranyastiva, and Meghamala, and the rivers are named Aruna, Nrumna, Angirasi, Savitri, Suptabhada, Ratambhara, and Satyambhara. One can immediately be free from the material contamination by touching or bathing in those rivers. And the 4 castes of people who live in Lakshadvipa, the Hamsas, Padankas, Urdhvayanas, and Satyangas, purify themselves in that way. The inhabitants of Lakshadvipa live for 1000 years. They are beautiful like the demigods, and they also beget children like the demigods by completely performing the ritualistic ceremonies mentioned in the Vedas and by worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead as represented by the Sun God. They attain the sun, which is a heavenly planet. Translation once more. The 7 islands, Varshas, are named according to the names of those 7 sons, Shiva, Yavasa, Subhadra, Shanta, Kshema, Amrita, and Abhaya. In those 7 tracts of land, there are 7 mountains and 7 rivers. The mountains are named Manikuda, Vajrakuda, Indrasena, Jyotisman, Subarna, Hiranyastiva, and Meghamala. And rivers are named Aruna, Nirmana, Angirasi, Savitri, Suptabhada, Ratambhara, and Satyambhara. One can immediately be free from material contamination by touching or bathing in those rivers. And the 4 castes of people who live in Lakshadvipa, the Hamsas, Patangas, Urdhvayanas, and Satyangas, purify themselves in that way. The inhabitants of Lakshadvipa live for 1000 years. They are beautiful like the demigods, and they also beget children like the demigods. By completely performing the ritualistic ceremonies mentioned in the Vedas and by worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead as represented by the sun god, they attain the sun, which is a heavenly planet. Purport. According to general understanding, there are only three deities, Lord Brahma, Lord
Original.
Vishnu, and
Origin.
sorry.
There are
According to the general understanding, there are originally three deities, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva, and people with a poor fund of knowledge consider Lord Vishnu no better than Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva. This conclusion, however, is invalid. As stated in the Vedas, Ishtapurtham Bahuda Jayamanam Vishwam Bibharti Bhuvanasya Nabhi Tat Evagnis Tat Vayus Tat Suryas Tatyu Chandrama Agni Sarvadevavada. This means that the Supreme Lord, who accepts and enjoys the results of Vedic ritualistic ceremonies, technically called Ishtapurtha, who maintains the entire creation, who supplies the necessities of all living entities. Ego bhunam yo vidati vidathadi kaman, and who is central point of all creation is Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu expands as the demigods known as Agni, Vayu, Surya, and Chandra, who are simply parts and parcels of his body. Lord Krishna says in Srimad Bhagavad Gita 9.23, ye api anya devata bhakta yajanti shraddhayanvida te api mam eva kaunteya yajanti aviti purvagam. Devotees who worship the demigods with firm faith worship me also, but not according to regulative principles. In other words, if one worships the demigods but does not understand the relationship between the demigods and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his worship is irregular. Krishna always says in Bhagavad Gita 9.24, Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhoktaja prabhurevacha. I am the only enjoyer of ritualistic ceremonies. It may be argued that the demigods are as important as Lord Vishnu because the names of the demigods are different names of Vishnu. This, however, is not a sound conclusion, for it is contradicted in the Vedic literatures. The Vedas declare Chandrama Manaso Jatas Chaksho Suryo Ajayada Stotradyascha Pranascha Mukhat Agnir Ajayada Narayanat Brahma Narayanat Rudro Jayate Narayanat Prajapati Jayate Narayanat Indro Jayate Narayanat Asto Vasavo Jayante Narayanat Ekadasha Rudra Jayante. The demigod of the moon, Chandra, came from the mind of Narayana. Moon, Chandra came from the mind of Narayana, and the sun god came from his eyes. The controlling deities of hearing and the life air came from Narayana, and the controlling deity of fire was generated from his mouth. Prajapati, Lord Brahma, came from Narayana, Indra came from Narayana, and the 8 Vasus, the 11 expansions of Lord Shiva, and the 12 Adityas also came from Narayana. In the Smriti Vedic literature, it is said, Brahma Sambhut Tattvaivarkas Chandramascha Sada Krudao Evam Adyas Tathevanye Yukta Vaishnava Tejasa Jagat Karyavasane Vasane tu Vijujjande cha Tejasa Vitejascha te sarve panchatvam ubayantite. Brahma, Shambhu, Surya, and Indra all are merely products of products of the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is also true of the many other demigods whose names are not mentioned here. When the cosmic manifestation is annihilated, these different expansions of Narayana's potencies will merge into Narayana. In other words, all these demigods will die. Their living force will be withdrawn and they will merge into Narayana. Therefore, it should be concluded that Lord Vishnu, not Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As a government officer is sometimes accepted as the entire government, although he is actually but a departmental manager, so the demigods, having achieved power of attorney from Vishnu, act on his behalf, although they are not as powerful as he. All the demigods must work under the orders of Vishnu. Therefore, it is said, Egale Ishvara Krishna Arasabha Bhritya. The only master is Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu, and all others are his obedient servants who act exactly according to his orders. The distinction between Lord Vishnu and the demigods is also expressed in Bhagavad Gita 9.25. Yanti deva vrada devan, prudran yanti putru vrada, bhudani yanti bhudejya, yanti mat yajino abhimam. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, whereas the worshippers of the Lord Krishna and Lord Vishnu go to the planets in Vaikuntha. These are the statements of the Smriti. Therefore, the idea that Lord Vishnu is on the same level as the demigods is in contradiction to the Shastras. The demigods are not supreme. The supremacy of the demigods is dependent on the mercy of Lord Narayana, Vishnu, or Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Raji,
So,
we'll go to one or
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
no need. No. I mean,
actually, Prabhu, maybe if you want, I will share the screen. Okay, I will share my screen. So, okay, Prabhu, screen is visible?
yeah.
Okay,
Right.
okay. So, you will see whether you are able to see this one clearly. Yes, right. Show. Okay, Prabhu. So here we are actually starting the new chapter today, studying the structure of the universe. So this is actually continuation from the 19th chapter where Sukadeva Goswami, after describing the Varshas of Jambudvipa, last chapter he was discussing about the various tracts of land within the Jambudvipa, which is one of the islands. Now Sukadeva Goswami is again actually explaining about the other Varshas, about the other 6, because total there are 7 islands. So we discussed about Jambudvipa 19th, that is 1. At the bottom, you can see the 1. So after that is, okay. So after that is beginning to describe about the other Dvipas, like 2, Plaksha Dvipa, Salmali Dvipa, Kusha Dvipa, Kraunchi Dvipa, Saka Dvipa, and Pushkara Dvipa, like that. So already it's very clear. In this 20th chapter, first 1 to 33 verses are going to describe about the characteristics of the 6 islands of the Bhumandala. Because already Jambudvipa is completed, so other 6 islands of Bhumandala is going to be described in detail. And from 34 to 42, it is description specifically about the Lokaloka mountain, which is outside, and the Aloka Varsha that we did already in the beginning. We read about the Lokaloka mountain and Aloka Varsha, which is out the outside periphery. And then 42 to 46 is about the glories of the sun. So this is 3 sections in this 20th chapter. So now we will begin with verse number 1, where actually Sukadeva Goswami is beginning with the description of the Bhumandala and other. So this is a table. Maybe I will share this slide in the group so we can have a quick table. Like who are this? What are the 7 islands in the Bhumandala? What are the names of the 7 islands? Jambudvipa, then Plakshadvipa, then Salmalidvipa, then Kushadvipa, Kraunchadvipa, Sakadvipa, and Pushkardvipa. And then what are the breadth of this? Well, each is 2 times. We see Jambudvipa is 100,000, and then this is 200,000. So like this, multiply into 2 times it goes. See, for 2,000, then for say 2 lakhs, and 4 lakhs, then 8 lakhs, like that. Then 1,600,000. Then into 2, like that, 2 times it is increasing, like the concentric circles. one after another as a concentric circles. Then what is surrounding each Dvipa is salt water, sugarcane, liquor, clarified butter, milk, like that. And what are the four Varnas? So we know in our Jambudvipa there is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, four. Like that, the four Varnas in different these things is presented. Now, of course, we will read this when we are reading this 1 to 33. But as a snapshot overview, this is like, then the living environment, how it is there, like Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and what are the age of human being. We just now read like the Plakshadipa, there are like 1,000 years, and they are like demigods, and the children also like demigods, like that. And mostly all the Deepas, it is like 1,000 years. Whereas in human, it is like different yugas. Now we are in Earth, we are in 100 years in Kali Yuga. And who was the first ruler? These are all the sons of Priyavrata Maharaj. All the sons' names are there, and their children's also after the taking up the this one. And whom they worship, that is also there. Vayu Dev, Varun Dev, Agni Dev. And the regions, what are the seven? There are 7 tracts of land within each Deepas. And 7 rivers and 7 says there are 7 tracts of land. In the 7 tracts of land, there are 7 rivers and 7 mountains. And all those things are there. So this I will share after this. So now probably we can open the third sloka verse. Because third verse only we have the purpose. I will stop this one. Maybe you can stop, Prabhu. It's possible for you to stop. Stop share.
Yeah, okay.
Verse number 3 you can share.
3.
Yes, Prabhu.
Perfect, Prabhuji.
Already the first 2 we saw the table. So that I share in the group. So the third one only Prabhupada is written the purport.
You go to Purport?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes. And now we'll go from translation only. Now, verse number 3 and 4 together we are going to see.
Yes.
Now here you can see Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning about the 7 islands are named according to those 7 sons. Because all the 7 sons, he has given one island to them. Like as a father, we are giving some house to our children. So here, Priyavrata Maharaj, according to his capability, has given some islands itself. Because he only developed that tract of land. You know, in beginning we read that he taken the chariot and developed this tract of land to make his place brighter. And all these names are there. The 7 sons' names are there. And then in the 7, this one, island, Varshas or islands, there are 7 mountains and 7 rivers. That also we saw in the table. The mountains' names are also there. Manikuta, Vajrakuta, like that. 7 mountains name. And the 7 rivers name also there. In 19th chapter, we discussed about the holy rivers which are flowing in the Bharata Varsha. In that Ganga, we discussed Yamuna, so many, Narmada, Kaveri, all this we discussed. Like that here, the river's name also there. So in this verse, we are seeing the names of 7 mountains. And then we are seeing the name of 7 rivers like Aruna, Narmana, Angirasi, Savitri, Suprabhata, Ritambara, and Satyambara. And same like in the Buloka, here we are seeing in here our earthly planet, if you are taking bath or by touching or meditating on those holy rivers, we get purified. Similarly, same way in the higher planetary systems also, by touching or bathing in those rivers, the 4 caste, which is different, not like Brahmana, Kshatriya, is different. This Pamsas, Patangas, Urdhvamyas, and Satyangas, they purify themselves in that way, similar way. But the river names are different. But the principle is same, that they are also holy rivers, and by touching or bathing in them, they get purified. And their lifespan is 1,000 years. And they are beautiful, more beautiful than human beings, like demigods. Because demigods are beautiful than human beings. And they also beget children. They are also like demigods. So they are also very beautiful. And by completely performing the ritualistic ceremonies mentioned in the Vedas, and by worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead as represented by Sun God there, they attain the sun, which is heavenly planet. So after their completion of their 1,000 years, because they perform these Vedic ritualistic ceremonies, worshipping the Lord in the form of sun god, Narayana, they say, no, Surya Narayana. They attain the sun, which is a heavenly planet. So sun and moon comes under the part of heavenly planetary systems. So we'll go to the purport. According to the general understanding, there are 3 original deities. So every Hindu or every person who is following the Sanatana Dharma, they know Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. They say Trimurtis. So every time they will, but same time, when we know that even a baby knows Brahma, child also knows Brahma, there is a creator, then Vishnu is the maintainer, and Lord Shiva is the annihilator. So they say a Trimurti. And but generally what happens in our scripture, lack of poor fund of knowledge, people who don't have deep knowledge, they don't want to argue who is supreme. They say everything is same. Why are you arguing? Why are you telling only your God is supreme, my God is supreme? No, that is wrong. All are same. Everybody is same. Like Vishnu and Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva is same. So that is also one kind of Mayavadi concept, saying that you worship any God, the destination will be same. So like that, people, because people don't want to go into deep aspect of spiritual thing, they say, why you are fighting? All are same. So that there is no need to discuss further philosophy. Easiest way is to tell all are same. And see, suppose if you say there is no God, no need to argue. But if you say there is God, then you should prove that yes, see the creation as creator. Creator means there is a creation means creator is there. So you need to explain more. But if you say there is no God, no need to discuss it anymore. No more philosophy. But if you want to prove further that God is there, God has a form, then you need to give more philosophical point. Then why God is having a form? Then you should refer scriptures, you should refer logic, nyaya, so many things you have to give additional points to convince that not only God is there, God is also having a form. And apart from God is having a form, now if you say all the form of God is same, it is easy. But again, if you want to say that Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu is the supreme, then you have to quote so many scriptural evidences. That what Srila Prabhupada is establishing here, that we are not just for namesake we are telling Lord Vishnu is supreme or Lord Krishna is supreme. He is giving so many references from Bhagavad Gita, from Vedic scriptures throughout this purpose to establish that Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of God. Because that needs more intelligence, more depth of research, more analysis, and more references. So people who do not want to go to up to this depth, for them it is simple to say that, oh, Lord Vishnu or Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva. For me, everybody is same. For you, maybe Lord Vishnu is supreme. Because you don't know, you think there is supreme. No, everybody is same. Like that, to just to give that kind of argument is easy. But to prove, if you take the Shastras, it is not same. That references Prabhupada is giving here. This is conclusion is invalid. It is not that we are fighting. We are establishing the truth. It's not that we are against people who are worshipping Lord Shiva. We are against people worshipping Lord Brahma. Not like that. We are presenting the fact through the Vedic. What is the conclusion of Vedic scriptures? The conclusion of Vedic scripture is not that everybody is same. The conclusion of Vedic scripture is Narayana is supreme. How? That is what Prabhupada is writing. How scriptures are establishing that Narayana is supreme. The Prabhupada is giving various references that you can see the first one as stated in Vedas. Ishtapurtam Bahuda Jayamanam Vishwam Vivarti Bhuvanasya Navitad Evagnis Tad Vayus Tad Suryas Tad Du Chandrama Agni Sarva Devataha. This means that Supreme Lord who accepts or enjoys the results of Vedic ritual ceremonies is actually called as Ishtapurta, who maintains the entire creation, who supplies the necessities of living entities. Eko Bahunam Yo Vedadati Kaman, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam, Eko Bahunam Yo Vedadati Kaman. So the Krishna is a central point of all creation, is Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna not much difference, only in the mood. Lord Vishnu expands as demigods known as Agni, Vayu, Surya, Chandra, who are simply parts and parcels of his body. So all are expansions of Krishna. We are also expansions of Krishna, so we cannot tell we are God, right? So like that, demigods are also expansions of Krishna. So in the expansions, there are two categories of expansion. Swamsa, Vibhinnamsa. Swamsa means personal expansions. Who are personal expansions of Krishna? Lord Balaram, Lord Ram, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Vasudeva, and Lord Narsimadev. Swamsa means personal expansions. In personal expansions, you can worship any of them. Like you can want, if you are liking to worship Lord Narsimadev, you can worship. We are also worshiping Narsimadev. If somebody is a Bhakta of Lord Ram, so there are no differences between them. Swamsa means personal expansions. So the Lord's expansions, personal expansions, you can worship any of them. And they are all in the same platform, except the mood is different. Lord Balaram is in the serving mood. Lord Krishna is in the enjoying mood. But they are same. Both are supreme personality of God. So that is called as Swamsa. But demigods are coming under Vibhinnamsa. Vibhinnamsa means separated expansions. The Jivatma is coming under Vibhinnamsa, separated expansion. So it is not that if you worship demigod, you will get the same result like you are worshipping Lord Narsimadev. No, that is not true. Because they are Vibhinnamsa, they are also having a lifespan like us, And they will also leave their body after certain, during Pralaya time, they will leave. They are not like Vishnu Tattva. They are actually part of Jiva Tattva. So Vishnu Tattva is different from Jiva Tattva. Swamsa is Vishnu Tattva, Vibhinna Amsa is Jiva Tattva. So that's what Prabhupada is citing here. Prabhupada is quoting that from the Shastra, Bhagavad Gita, which is the essence of all Vedic scriptures. It is the essence of all the Upanishads. So in Bhagavad Gita 9.23, Krishna says, Epi anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvitaha tepi mam eva kaunteya yajanti avidi purvakam. So Krishna is saying that people are worshipping different demigods. Like in Kerala also, Lord Ayyappa is very famous. Millions of people are going. In Tamil Nadu, Lord Skanda is very famous. Kartikeya, very famous. So there are millions and millions of people worshipping with firm faith. But Krishna is telling devotees who worship the demigods with the firm faith, they are also actually worshipping me only. But they don't follow any kind of regulative principles. Like we are saying, regulative principles means we are saying that no meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. But for them, only during the Vrata time, they will not take non-vegetarian. 1 month or 1.5 months, they will be strict vegetarian. After that, they will again become normal food, non-vegetarian. And they were not concerned about, other things like gambling or illicit. Only certain period of time, they follow certain rituals. So it is not according to the prescribed regulative principles. Not only regulative principles means that 4. Again, regulative principles also says that Smartavya Satatam Vishnu, Vishmartavya Jatachit. Always you should remember the Lord, Krishna, never forget him. So not according to regulative principles. It's not a structured and proper way of understanding, not proper knowledge. In other words, if one worships the demigods, but at the same time he does not understand the relationship between demigods and Supreme Personality of Godhead, his worship is irregular. That is called as Avidhi Purvakam. That word is very clear. Vidhi means through proper channel. Avidhi Purvakam means through irregular channel or through indirect way, not direct way. Avidhi means indirect way. So you are touching the nose directly like this through your finger. If you take your hand behind your head and then touch your nose, that is called as Avidhi Purvakam. In one way, they are also worshipping Krishna because everything is Krishna only, expansions of Krishna, but they will not derive that same benefit like worshipping Krishna because the demigods cannot give the liberation to the living entity. The demigods can give some material benefit, but they cannot give you moksha. That is where you have to be understand very clearly what is the benefit if you worship demigods, what is the benefit if you worship the Supreme Lord. Even though Krishna is saying they are also worshipping me indirectly, but that is not Avidhi Purvaka. That is a key word. Epi Anya Devata means Anya Devata means apart from Krishna, if you worship Yajanti, that worship is called as Avidhi Purvaka from Bhagavatam. It is indirect worship, not direct worship. Krishna says in Bhagavatam 9.24, Ahami Sarva Yajnana Bhoktacha Prabhu Evacha. I am only the enjoyer of all. So literally saying, whatever yajna we do, he is only enjoying. Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. So here it may be argued. Again, people will argue that demigods are as important as Lord Vishnu because this is a very big challenge in India. That's why when Prabhupada preached this philosophy, 40 years he preached in India, and not much people came forward. Why they are not coming forward? Because in India, we are already conditioned to worship so many devatas from childhood. Even if you see our altar, everybody's altar, except people who are in the Krishna consciousness, you can see there are at least 20 to 25 photos in the altar. 20 to 25. Whichever temple they go, they will buy one small photo and keep it. Wherever they see some Swamiji, that Swamiji photo also they will hang. And you see that whole, it will be overcrowded. And wanting to worship, it become very difficult for them because maybe they collect some flowers. It is not sufficient for them. So they are confused now to which god I should put the flower. Suppose they have 10 flowers and they have 20 photos. So which photo I should put? Which if this god will get angry if I put only flower for this god and this god may get angry. Like that, they have confusion. I have personally seen everybody's house. There are like at least 20 to 25 photos. Some Baba, some Devata, Kula Devata, then, and people are basically confused. And what they do normally, they take bath, they come with a wet cloth directly to the altar, and they will show Agarbatti morning. Agarbatti and 2-3 flowers, and they will chant few mantras, and then they will go to the job, and they will never remember God after. Again, evening they will come throughout day they are always thinking about material progress, how to save money, how to progress like that. And evening they will come, again take bath, again show an agarbatti and some sloka. And then what they will do? Again, they will do their materialistic way. So this is called indirect worship, or without knowing the proper knowledge. What is the relation between the demigods and... But a Vaishnava understands the relation between demigods. A Vaishnava is not that he will immediately insult the demigods, not like that. Prabhupada says a Vaishnava even respect an ant. What is an ant? Ant is very insignificant. If he is even respecting ant because Paramatma, the Atma is there, what about demigods? Demigods are an exalted position. So definitely we have to give all the respect to the demigods because they are higher than us. But at the same time, we have to worship only one God. That is the conclusion of Vedic scripture. And if you know the relationship between demigod and Krishna, it is no harm that if you pass by a demigod temple, you can always say that Vancha Kalpataribhascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Pritana Pavani Vaishnavi Namo Namah. You are a greatest Vaishnava. For Krishna, you are doing very great service. You are managing this material universe. And you are empowered by Krishna and you are dear to Krishna. So please also bless me that I should be very sincere in my service to Lord Krishna. Like that, we can pray to any demigod. We can go to any demigod temple. There is nothing wrong, provided we know their relationship. Like the gopis also prayed to Katyani Devi that please give Krishna as our husband. So they made special vrata for 30 days. So if you know the relation with the demigod and Krishna, there is no harm to worship, respect a demigod, telling the mantra Vancha Kalpataribhascha. But at the same time, we should know that they are empowered by Krishna only. Krishna says again also in 7th chapter that whatever you get by demigod also, that also given by me only. But I am giving to them and they are giving to you. So instead of going to a demigod and going to that, and directly going to Krishna is actually more intelligent option. That is one thing we should understand. And next one, again, Prabhupada gives a reference from the Vedas, how Narayana Prajapati Jayate, Narayana Indra Jayate, Narayana Astu Vasavo Jayate, Narayana Brahma. Everything comes from Narayana. That verse is also quoted here. So the demigod like moon, Chandra came from the mind of Narayana. This is Vedic verse. And the sun god came from the Narayana's eyes. The controlling deities of hearing, the life air came from Narayana. And the controlling deity of fire was generated from his mouth. And the Prajapati Lord Brahma came from Narayana. This is again why it is said, it is to establish that the origin, the original candle, like there are 10 candles are there. The original candle is from Narayana or Krishna. So all the demigods or devatas, they come from Narayana. Further, Prabhupada says one more words from Smriti Vedic literature. Brahma Sambhus Tatai Karkas Chandram Satakratu Eva Madhyas Tatevena. So this verse is saying that Brahma, Sambhu, Surya, Indra are all merely products of the power of the... They are empowered personalities. Like we say sometimes Shakti Vesha Avatar. Prabhupada also called as Shakti Vesha Avatar, empowered personalities. They are Jivatmas, but the special power is given to them to accomplish certain tasks. So like that, these personalities, the Jivatmas, are empowered by the Lord to carry out the functions of this material universe. So this is also true that many other demigods, whose names are not mentioned here, not only this, but other demigods also. And one important point we should remember is when the cosmic manifestation annihilated during Pralayam time, all these Vibhinna Amsas, not Swahamsas, Vibhinna Amsas, they go back to Narayana. They'll go back to Mahavishnu. In other words, all these demigods will die. So these demigods are like a different post. Like chief minister is changing every 5 years, like the prime minister is changing. Like that, these demigods who are occupying this post, they will be changed after certain manvantras. After we know that we are reading from the Bhagavatam, that after certain yugas, they will also change their post. Now next Indra will be, we know that next Indra already decided this will be Bali Maharaj. So Indra is that post, and that Indra post will be occupied by Bali Maharaj in the coming manvantra. So their living force will be withdrawn and they will merge into Narayana. So therefore, it should be concluded that Lord Vishnu, not Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva. So this is deep research. See how Prabhupada taken efforts to go into the deeper sections of the Vedic knowledge and is giving the essence. We may not know this. If you don't have this knowledge, we may think that the easiest way is to conclude is everybody is same. Which is your Ishta Devata, you pray to that Devata and you will get the desired result. That's what 90% of the people are thinking. But Prabhupada is refuting that through the scriptures. that it should be concluded that Lord Vishnu, not Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As a government officer, is sometimes accepted as the entire government, although he is actually but a departmental manager. After that, sometimes they get retired. After that, they do lose their power. So a person is an IAS collector, he is respected so much and is given so much respect. People salute him, people open the door, and as long as he is in the post. But once he retires, they don't even wish him. We see that, right? Everybody, when they are in the position, in the power, as a government officer, as a tahsildar, people go, respect, give them gift, talk to them very nicely, invite them for the opening ceremony or something. But once they retire, then nobody bothers to even to talk to them or respect them. This is actually happening. Like that, these devatas are actually empowered to run this universe on behalf of Krishna. Or they are saying that power of attorney. Power of attorney means when we want to sell something or buy something, when we are not there, we give that power of attorney to somebody so they can act on our behalf. So all these demigods have taken power of attorney from Lord Vishnu to act on his behalf, although they are not powerful as Lord Vishnu. So the demigods are working under the control of Lord Vishnu and Ekale Ishvara Krishna Arsha Britya, taken from Chaitanya Charitamrita. The only master is Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu, and all others are his obedient servants. So who act accordingly to his orders. And also Prabhupada quotes here the distinction between Lord Krishna and demigods expressed in Bhagavad Gita verse number 9.25. So earlier we saw that indirect worship, Avidi Purvakam 9.23. Here we are seeing another verse 9.25. Yanti Deva Vrita Devan Pitrin Yanti Pitrinita Bhutani Yanti Bhuteja Yanti Matyajino Yanti Matyajino Apimam. So here we may think that if I worship any of my Ishta Devata, Kula Devata, still I will get the same result like somebody who is worshipping Krishna. But that is false. Krishna is refuting that in 9.25, saying that those who worship demigods will go to the planet of demigods. So there are planets for demigods, which is called as Swargaloka. The Swargaloka, all the demigods are residing. And which demigod we are worshipping, we go to that place. Even if you sincerely worship the demigod only, not for namesake. You worship only for some material benefit, you will not go to the demigod. Whereas the worshippers of Lord Krishna, Pitrinyanti Pratinvata means who worship the ancestors go to the ancestor place, which is called as Aryama. We know Pitriloka is in the down, below the Atala, Vitala, Tala, we know that down is Pitriloka. They go there. And Bhutani Yanti Bhuteja, people who worship the ghosts and spirits, they go to that planet. In Kerala, this is very famous. There is one Chotanikara, Bhagavati Amman, right, Prabhu? Where
Yes.
people who are occupied by ghosts, who are possessed by ghosts, they are taken there, and then that ghost is going out. So people who worship this called as tantric. So people who worship that kind, they go to the Bhutani Yanti Bhute. They go to the actually places where these Bhutas are residing. But fourth category is Yanti Madhyajino Apima means who are worshipping me, they will come to me. So there are four kinds of destination a human being is having in this human life. One is he will worship demigods sincerely and go to the demigod planet, but during the pralaya time, he has to come down. That is one category. Those who are worshipping ancestors, they say, my father is important, my forefather is important, my grandfather is everything for me. And they keep the grandfather photo in the puja room and they worship, they go to the Pitriloka, Aryama. And Bhutani Anti Bhuteja, people worship the ghosts and spirits, they go to the ghostly planets. That Mantrika, Tantric, Mantrik, everything. But fourth category is who are worshipping exclusively Krishna, Yanti Madhyajino Pima, they go to the Supreme Lord. And Supreme Lord means Vaikuntha or Golak Vrindavan or Ayodhya or whatever in the higher planetary system, which is beyond this material universe, which is beyond the Vraja river. That is all this kind of lotus kind of flower, like lotus flower, where different planetary systems are there. The person who goes there, he will not return back to this material universe. That Yadgatvana Nivartante Taddama Paramabhuma, Krishna is saying. So when we go to Krishna, when we pray to Krishna and go back to Krishna, that Jivatma, it does not come to this material world again. Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. No more is birth and death for him. But whereas if you pray to the demigod, he can go to the demigod. But during pralayam time, he has to come back to this material universe and take birth according to his balance karma. So that's what two things Prabhupada is establishing, that or not all the worship is same, and not everybody is supreme. That is second point. And not that everybody worship any god and he will get the same destination. All these 3 points are highlighted here in this verse. A very important verse, and Prabhupada gives so many references. So in order to convince us that worshipping Krishna is different from worshipping demigods, and the result we obtain from worshipping Krishna is different from from worshipping demigods. We can offer our respects to all the devatas, but we should only worship Krishna as per the conclusion of the Vedic scriptures, especially from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. So we have come to discuss this. Whatever I have shared with you. And now devotees have any questions or comments, or you want to share your understanding, please feel free to share. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Very long purport also, even if the
Yeah,
last.
but Prabhupada given a lot of references.
So many references, yes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Because superficially, everybody is easy to say that everything is same. Easy to say like that. Why to argue? Why to argue with somebody? If you start now, people will argue. The moment you tell Krishna is supreme, then they will tell what about Ganesha, what about Kartikeya, the argument. So that's why the more we get knowledge, then we can be more convinced that everybody is actually the expansions of Krishna. And the Krishna expansion is Swamsa and Vinamsa. Personal expansions and separated expansions. Now all the demigods are the separated expansions coming under the Jivatma category, except Lord Shiva. Because Lord Shiva is not coming under Jivatma. He is actually a unique category called the Shambhu. He is like milk transformed into yogurt. He is like Lord Vishnu, but he is in contact with the material nature.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Adana Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Here, Prabhuji explained very more references are here. Just like in court, we are Prabhupada clearly clarifying with the different quotes and different references. So here, how Avidhi Purvakam and Vidhi Purvakam. So, and Ejanti, Yanti Madhya Jinopima. So, if you want to, there is a crossroad, just like the crossroad. If you want to this way, this way, forward. So, you can go whatever you like. There is the ultimate goal is Krishna. So, you have to Madhya Jinopima, only worship Krishna. So, that point, Prabhupada very clearly come to this, giving the more references and more points. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing your understanding.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Anybody else?
Any other questions or discussions? Any comments?
Bhagavata ji.
Okay.
So, thank you very much, Guruji. So
thank you all for.
Thank you, Guruji. We are lucky to get you, and even the first PPT also Guruji showed clearly, explaining the Jambudvipa and the other elements also. So that's fantastic. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Guruji. So
thank you for giving the opportunity.
We'll chant 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra for Prabhuji as well as all the devotees who are present today for everybody's spiritual progress.